This is Sandbag. You might know him as the lovable punching bag that gets pummeled and launched in Smash Bros.' home run contest mode. As the only non-playable character with eyes in Super Smash Bros. Melee's stadium modes, Sandbag has become somewhat of a mascot for that side of the game. The interesting thing about Sandbag in Melee is that he's not considered an item. He's actually coded as a character so that the game can record his percent. This is true for all of Melee's non-playable opponents, such as Master Hand. And this means, if you have the right action replay code, you can actually play as Sandbag if you really want to. Sounds cool, right? Not really. It's a miserable experience. He has no attacks, half of his defensive options don't work, the other half cause the game to crash, and he doesn't even have any real animations. So why would you ever want to play as Sandbag? Because there are a few things he can do. He can walk, he can jump, and he can perform two actions in Melee that don't have corresponding animations. He can grab and release items as long as he's in the air. You know what this means, right? You can play a Sandbag in home run contest. Jump, grab the bat on the way up, and drop it on the way down, and Sandbag can take all of that pent-up rage from years of abuse out on his clone. I'm Practical Task, and this is the complete history of Melee's Sandbag home run contest world record. I know what you're thinking. Sandbag has a home run contest world record? Well, no. Let me explain. I took to Twitter and asked the greatest Melee minds for any recorded footage of Sandbag completing home run contest, and I got this back.
Show me your moves. Falcon punch!
As this was clearly not what I had in mind, I decided that Sandbag has been neglected for far too long. I knew right away that I needed to correct this injustice. But before we get to that, we need to talk about bat drops. Bat drops are an integral part of home run contest strategy. Dropping any item only requires one frame, or 1/60th of a second, to do. Also, a drop bat still does a significant amount of damage. Thus, many world record strategies rapidly rack up percent by dropping a bat, then performing a quick aerial attack that prevents Sandbag from flying away. I started with a proof of concept. Could we use our playable Sandbag to knock the clone off the home run contest platform? The answer is yes, and thus, on June 18, 2018, the first Sandbag home run contest record was born. But I wasn't nearly satisfied with 7.8 feet. My next breakthrough came on realizing that since Sandbag can walk, he can push the clone close to the edge before dropping the bat. This yielded a significant improvement to 24.9 feet. Note that bats drop from different heights do different damage. So, what if we drop the bat once so Sandbag doesn't fall off the platform, then again with a maximum height hit to knock it farther? All of a sudden, we're at 41.3 feet. We can't really go forward from here though, or else we'll run out of space. So logically, what's the next step? Going backwards. All of a sudden, with 3 bat drops, the record blasted past the 50-foot milestone to 65.9 feet. But I still wasn't happy. Do you know what's cooler than 50 feet? 100 feet. That was my new goal. I knew I'd need a 4th bat drop at the very least. My first successful completion of a 4 bat drop strategy happened on June 18, 2018, but I blame my inability to use OBS for not properly recording the first half of the strategy. Still, the record stood at 91.8 feet, 8.2 away. The most important number in home run contest is the damage on Sandbag before the final hit, because that number is used to calculate how far Sandbag gets sent. I knew that 45% before the last bat drop wouldn't be enough, so I started optimizing my route to get to 46 and push the clone as close as possible to the edge. Later that night, 96.7 feet became the new record. Early in the morning of June 19, 2018, I repeated the strategy with a better push to the end to get to 97.4. In home run contest lingo, beating an old strategy by completing it the same way but pushing Sandbag a little bit at the end is called a nudge. While a nudge is a valid record, it doesn't quite feel as good. So I went back to the drawing board. Instead of a push, perhaps an extra percent would put Sandbag in the right place. Barely 10 minutes later was the first successful 47% run. But it wasn't enough to get to 100 feet, falling agonizingly short at 99.0. If only Sandbag had fallen a tiny bit farther down the lip at the edge of the platform, 100 could be in reach. Finally, on June 19, 2018, lightning struck with the crack of a bat. After all the minutes of failures, sandbags sliding off, and bats randomly disappearing, I could rest easy as my goal of 100 feet was met exactly. And that's where the record is now. I'm not about to say that it's unbeatable, but the next step might be a 5th bat drop, and that would take a truly dedicated, borderline foolish individual to accomplish. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think, as I'll be experimenting with more videos with voiceovers in the future. Also, to my Melee subscribers, don't be surprised to see some Smash Ultimate videos coming. I'm not dropping Melee anytime soon, but I'm very excited for the new game's release. If you like this parody, I definitely recommend the real thing, Summoning Salt's World Record Progressions. He makes great videos on how actual speedrun world records have changed over time. A link to his channel is in the description. Also, shoutouts to Typo for graciously letting me use his footage in this video. His info is in the description. If you're interested in Melee Stadium modes, I've put a link to their Discord in there as well. Thanks again for watching.